girl said I'm arrogant, but I confess it's true. I play my music in the bands the other day just to hear how it feels. Been projecting these dreams.
Could you like just name drop some of the biggest celebrities you've worked with?
Nicki Minaj, Ariana Grande, Cardi B,
Okay.
Sierra. I mean, I say this, I've worked with everyone except for Beyonce and Rihanna.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a Beyonce request, but I was in Nigeria at the time and I just couldn't make it happen.
Right.
And I was very sick about that.
I mean, hearing some
Call
of
me
this
back,
names.
Beyonce.
Yeah.
Call me back.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Behind the Stitch. Today, it's a very special episode. We are at LAVAN Lagos and I'm here with the beautiful KHALA. So, hi KHALA, tell us about yourself. Right.
Hi, so I'm KHALA. I own Lava, I own Grayscale, and I'm here in Nigeria.
Okay. You look really lovely today. Tell us what you've got on.
Thank you. Okay, so I am actually wearing a brand, Secret Lovers. It is a brand that we carry here in Lava. Their Survivor shirt, so come check us out.
Okay, so let's get into it.
Okay.
Do you remember any pivotal moment in your life that changed your perspective or direction as far as your fashion brand is concerned?
Yeah, for sure. So I would say there were two different moments. So when I first started Grayscale, which is my brand in the States, when I first started, I, wanted to get into the fashion industry. I wasn't sure exactly how to do that. And so I think I was more kind of like, I don't want to say forced into it, but it was at a point where I didn't know what else to do.
Right.
I would rather say that, yeah. And so I'll never forget, I was working for someone, like I was a personal assistant in Beverly Hills and to a makeup artist. And from there, I was tired of working for someone else. I had another job lined up, which was funny enough to be a flight attendant because I just love to travel.
I mean, you look like you fit the role.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree. I think I would be a great flight attendant. I would have been. But I got the job, and I think at one point you had to like sign a document to confirm your like status of being a flight attendant. Long story short, I forgot to sign the document. I had already quit my job.
Right.
So I was like in a rock and a hard place. And at that point I had a roommate and we were kind of doing like wholesale together. So we were just like buying clothes, reselling it.
Basics.
Yeah, basics, like starting from the bottom. I kind of just stuck down that path. I prayed on it and I created my first piece. And the first piece that I created, just luckily for me, went viral. So that for me was like my pivotal moment getting into the fashion career. And then for me deciding to then like add, a brick and mortar store here in Nigeria was just, a whole nother ball game that I wanted to get into. After I went to Ghana for the first time in 2019, I loved it. And I was like, you know what? I always need a reason to have to come back to the continent. Quarantine hit, so I had some time to really like do my research because there's not a lot of information online about, doing fashion in West Africa or even just like the economy or just accurate information rather. There are a lot of things, but I don't think that it's an accurate representation of like what Nigeria or West Africa as a whole embodies.
A lot more to offer than is shown.
Exactly. And I think now, it's in like a much better light. It's doing like the pace is picking up. It's in a better space, but like 2020, no. So I prayed on it and I just decided to jump out the window and do it.
Okay. So would you say fashion is something you've always had passion for?
I have always had a passion for it. I mean, even in school, my minor in school was fashion merchandising.
Impressive.
Yeah, but my dream, I never dreamed that I would be a fashion designer.
Right.
But I think that it's really important, like starting out, to know sometimes when like God is guiding you on a certain path, you know, like to take it, right? Because for example, I think a lot of times we force things, you know, like, you know, some people are like rappers for like 20 years and trying to get a song out, you know, but they might be really, really good at something else, but they're ignoring it because they want to go down, you know, something else. And I feel like for me, it was just really about listening and doing what God kind of like guided and wanted me to do.
Understand that.
That's what I would say.
Okay, so what would you say the biggest misconception people have about you, both personally and professionally?
I think that people judge me based off of how I look. And so that could be a good thing or it could be a bad thing. It depends like who's judging, right?
Yeah.
So I think that people assume that maybe I might, you know, just be, maybe I don't work hard.
Right.
Or they might think that I'm not that smart.
So beauty without brain, that's what it is.
Right, exactly. But whole time I'm a genius, so it's
Love
like,
to hear
let's be real.
Okay, so who is one person in your life that impacted you the most?
I've lived so many lives.
Right.
So like there's so many different people along the way that's like, yeah, that's like been,
Okay,
you
so
know what I mean? Like,
let's make it like this. In terms of your fashion designing, one person that has impacted you the most.
okay, I'm just going to say Daniel Hawkins. So Daniel Hawkins is a stylist in America. And I'm throwing his name out there because he's the first person, after I made my first piece, he's the first person that ever gave me a chance.
Right.
Yeah, and so at the time he was styling, I mean, this was 2017, so he was styling like the cast of like Basketball Wives and like reality stars and things of that nature. So yeah, he's the first person that kind of took a chance on like a young, you know, new designer, and that kind of catapulted my career, and that's what sort of what made me go viral. So Daniel, I don't know what you camera to look into, but thank you if you see this. He has no idea.
Okay. What are your biggest fears in life?
I don't really have like one big fear, right?
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of the things that I do sometimes scare me a little bit. So I feel like I'm constantly just like pushing past like every single fear, that I always have. So, I mean, day to day, sometimes like there are things that might, you know, or my thoughts or like my dreams or my goals scare me a bit. So, I mean, it's a daily thing. Like, you know, I feel the emotion, I let it sit, and I push past it because I feel like the best things are on the other side of fear.
Right. Okay. What is the most difficult decision you've had to make, and what was the outcome? Because I take it you've had a few difficult decisions.
I have had a few difficult decisions. I mean, again, like I feel like at every stage there's always, it's like new level, new devil, right?
Right.
So I feel like, I mean, recently I guess it would be deciding to come to Nigeria and invest and take that chance.
I mean, it could have gone either way.
It could have gone any way.
A big decision.
Right.
Okay, so what do you do to recharge after work? What do you do with your downtime?
I like to talk to my friends. So I
mean, it's basic, but it's just
it's basic, right? But it's like community.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like I like to talk to my friends.
Yeah.
I like to catch up with my friends. I'm an only child, so I really enjoy, or I was raised an only child, excuse me, because I do have a brother and sister, but I enjoy, like, I really enjoy just kind of, you know, just talking about different things, life things, whatever, what have you, because between my friends and I, we all work a lot, and we're all very invested in our careers and our passions and our goals, or mommyhood, or being a wife, whatever we're all up to at that point in life.
Right.
So I just really enjoy like catching up with my friends to kind of
That's
decompress.
lovely. That's really lovely. Okay, what personal values do you hold most dear?
Personal values do I hold most dear? Like what? What's yours?
Okay, I think for me personally, I pride myself on trying my best to be as honest and as open with everybody I come in contact with, right?
Okay.
Right, so I like people knowing me and being like, oh, he's somebody I know would always be honest with me.
Right.
So that's my personal value I hold most dear to me, my honesty.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that my personal value that I hold close to me,
Right.
I've never thought about this before.
Okay, we can circle back to that later.
Okay. Now I feel like I sound like a bad person. I don't know. I mean, obviously I'm honest.
Right,
I'm honest to a
obviously.
fault though, so I don't know if that's like something I hold close to me, but yeah.
I mean, everybody.
I try to be a good person, like morally, like, I just try to do the right thing.
As much as possible.
Yeah, like I never have ill intention.
Of course. Okay. Mind sharing a personal experience that has shaped your view on fashion and design?
I would say many things. Again, so I would say that the one that sticks out the most to me is being able to like be tenacious throughout like the fashion industries, like ups and downs.
Yeah.
Because it's like an ebb and flow. So like it comes, it goes, like you're hot, you're not, you have your days, you have your bad days, your great days. And so I would say that just kind of like learning that and learning the game and learning to just like stay consistent, stay positive, throughout all the spaces that you're gonna be in when you're in the fashion industry is like really important.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's good to know. Okay, so this one, I personally would love to know, what is your creative process in coming up with your designs and where are your materials sourced from?
Okay, so my creative process, now this, I've always said this, right?
Yeah.
God actually guides my hands. I know it's so crazy,
Right.
but I don't overthink it. Like I have my sketch pad.
Obviously.
I sketch with like pencil paper, so I still do it like the very old school way because I believe that when you, like I have all these little weird quirks about me, so I believe that when you write things down with pen and paper, or when you sketch things out with pencil and paper, you are basically kind of like manifesting what it is that you want, right? Because sometimes I think now, especially like with an iPad or like being a bit more digital, like online, like trying to, do things online, it's just the intention and the connection to me, like it's not there. Yeah, so I feel like you get more out of what you want when you physically do what you want to get done, right? And so for me, I kind of let God just like guide my hands, I pray before I sketch. I let God guide my hands. And also I really enjoy women's bodies, we're all very unique. Like every woman's body is so different. And I think that it's an art form to know how to be able to create things that can fit all different body types. Right. So, on top of me, with my hands being guided and, anointed. Yeah. I then try to make sure that it's something that every single body type can be comfortable in, or if it's obviously like a smaller dress, like I want to make sure that it's, I'm thinking of like a specific woman. Right, of course. Right, or if it's for the masses, like I'm thinking of like, how can every woman fit this dress and be comfortable? How can they style it and be comfortable? Things like that.
So where are your materials sourced from?
The States.
That's fair.
Yeah, the States.
You know, I think this next question I could probably even answer for you just based off how you've spoken so far.
Alright.
But what role does your faith and spirituality play in your life?
Huge.
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
tell.
huge. I'm super spiritual.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I like, you know, me and God, like that, we're besties. But aside from us being besties, you know, like I truly believe in like, you know, my spiritual guides. I believe in my ancestors helping me. Yeah, I believe in the universe that is, you know, coming together for my greater good at all times.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
How do you maintain a relationship with your friends and family while working such a demanding career?
Okay, so in the beginning, it was very difficult. And that's why I say now, for me, I call my friends.
Right.
Because when you're building, I think we can all attest to this, you have to sacrifice something.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And for me, I sacrificed for a long time going out.
Yeah.
I stayed in the house. Like when I lived in LA and I first started, I mean, LA is a vibe at one point. But I did not go out for years. I almost kind of went into like a little like hermit crab mode. Like I was very like, this is my work. I'm inside, I'm focused. But I think that sometimes the discipline is good.
Yeah,
and it also taught me to kind of like know my limits and know how to like discipline myself, because no one's gonna tell you what to do when you're building a brand. Like no one's gonna guide you. No one's gonna call you to wake you up in the morning. No one cares.
Right.
Unfortunately, you know, no one, I say no one loves you until everybody loves you, right? So it's up to you to like make whatever it is that you want for yourself a reality.
Very valid.
Yeah.
So now, would you say you found a proper balance between your work life and your personal relationship with your friends and family?
I'm working on it.
That's lovely.
I'm working on it. I got a lot of catching up to do.
Fair enough. So you started Lava in Nigeria in 2022,
Yeah.
right? What prompted that?
It was going to Ghana. Like going to Ghana 2019, I only went for December vibes.
Right.
Yeah, so I went for holiday. And I, you know, standard holiday vibes. I pushed my flight back, pushed my flight back again, pushed it back again.
Yeah.
I mean, now at this point I have no clothes. So I'm like, I don't have any clothes. Like I'm wearing the same things. Like we're going out with the same people. Like I cannot be seen in the same outfits.
Right.
Like, and at the time, Ghana didn't really have many places to shop.
Yeah.
So I'm there and I'm like, you know what? I need a store. I need to open a store in Africa, in Ghana. So that way, whenever I'm here, I can shop. I don't have to worry about anything. Like I saw a problem and I just want to solve it.
Yeah. I think that's the best way to decide on, you know, starting a new branch.
Yeah.
Somewhere else.
Exactly.
When it fits your personal problem.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And then when I went to Ghana, I just felt so good. It was like an indescribable feeling. And I was like, I love it here. I need to always be able to come back here for some reason so I can feel this feeling all the time.
And since then, have you been to Ghana again?
No.
Okay. What is your biggest failure in your career and what did you learn from it?
My biggest failure?
Yeah, in your career so far.
Ooh, I fell so many times. But is it really a failure? Because I'm not failing right now.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
You know, you learn from it.
Yeah, it's a lesson.
That happened and what exactly did you learn from it?
I did, okay, so the first thing that comes to mind is I did pre-orders. Okay? Don't do, listen, if your brand is moving, do not do pre-orders, do not do pre-orders, do not do pre-orders, okay?
All of you are hearing, do not do pre-orders.
Do not do it. Like, it's one thing if you're starting out, I get it, you can manage it, but there was one piece that I made, oh my goodness, I did pre-orders on that piece. Because see, the thing is, in fashion, one thing you learn is the manufacturers, they lie. They say, oh, it'll be done in, 3 weeks. You gotta add extra 2 weeks to it.
Yeah.
All right. But in this particular moment, it turned out to be an extra month. on top. So it was like a 2-month wait. And at this point, people are anxious. You know, it was during like graduation season, which is May in the States. So it's during graduation season, right? It's like, you know, people are like, I need my graduation outfit, birthday outfit. It's starting to be summertime. And so that was when I mean, honestly, I was on a payment platform. Right. I don't want to say their name, but a lot of people get kicked off of that payment platform, and they probably know exactly what I'm talking about. They kept my money for like 7 months, and it was a lot of money. It was a lot of orders, and I think in that moment, that's when I knew never to do pre-orders again. And if you have the product, sell it. If you don't, it's sold out.
Right. But how did you handle the situation, like with the people that had? Oh,
I had no money because that was the only way that I was able to accept payment. So that's when I started doing customs for celebrities. Right. So a lot of people think that I started doing customs for celebrities because I don't know. I think they thought I started doing it, you know, just because. Right. I started doing it because I needed to make the money to sustain. To sustain my website, to sustain my manufacturing, to sustain everything. So after, it was PayPal. So after PayPal shut me out, I think like 2 weeks later, you know, I'm talking to one of my friends at the time. I'm telling her like, man, like, they're holding a lot of money, you know, and I don't know what to do. I have to refund these customers. It's coming out of my account. They're holding my money. Like, I'm like, and she's like, listen, Sweetie's going on tour. We need custom looks. Right. So I'm like, I'm doing it. So I did all of Sweetie's like tour outfits. And I think like after her first tour stop, it was like a huge article that came out about it. And then I just started getting calls left and right. Like literally, I got a custom like daily after that for music videos, celebrities, tours, whatever, anything. And I took every single job because obviously I had to, right? So I just piled on more work on top of more work.
Could you like just name drop some of the biggest celebrities you've worked with?
Sure. Nicki Minaj, Ariana Grande, Cardi B. Okay. Sierra. I mean, I say this, I've worked with everyone except for Beyonce and Rihanna. Okay. Yeah, I had a Beyonce request, but I was in Nigeria at the time and I just couldn't make it happen. Wow. And I was very sick about that.
I mean, hearing some
Call me back, Beyonce. Call me back, please.
Hearing some of these names, I'd say it's hard to be humble when you work with people like this.
Yeah. And of course, Tiwa, you know, we got to shout out Tiwa because we in Lagos, you know, her hometown.
What is the most personal design you've created?
Personal. Yeah. I mean, I guess I'll say the first thing that I ever made, to be honest. Okay. Because I think my creativity has grown in so many different ways. It's blossomed in so many beautiful ways. Right. But in the beginning, it was made out of, I don't want to say pain, but it was made out of me not knowing what to do. Right. And so because I didn't know what to do, the route that I took was very unconventional. I worked very hard. Yeah. People told me how ugly it was. I'll never forget. And I mean, that piece is literally what catapulted me into a whole different tax bracket. You know, I was at that point where I like didn't even want to check my bank account. And then I hadn't checked my bank account for like a month. So after I put out that first piece and it went viral, I got hit up by Los Angeles Fashion Week to become like a new designer in LA Fashion Week. And literally, they were like, all right, you know, you're gonna have to pay for this, this, and this. And I'm like, I don't even know if I have this. But, you know, meanwhile, my little Shopify dings are like, ding, 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 like, you know, and I'm just like, okay. Yeah. And so I finally checked my account and I saw them zeros and I was like, oh, okay. Well, we in here, we there, we're here, we're gonna do it.
Okay, that's really lovely. So the first piece you made was your most personal piece?
Definitely my most personal piece.
Okay,
For sure.
That's
For sure.
definitely something.
OG.
What one aspect of the fashion industry would you want to change and why?
I think we should go back to gatekeeping. You know, I mean, I think it's so great that there's so much information out there. But I do think that it's okay to gatekeep a bit.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair
In many ways, you know, like even if it's like, even when it comes down to just like the girls putting clothes on, like archive pieces.
Right.
You know, it's okay, you know, like, it's all right. We can gatekeep a little bit. Yeah, you know, like everything is just so accessible. And I don't know if it makes it easier or harder, but it definitely is like a new space.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So what's the difference between Grayscale and Lava?
It's a huge difference. So Lava is my brick and mortar store here in Lagos. And I house brands from all over the world. Right. Grayscale is my designs. Grayscale is my brand. Yeah.
Okay. Which other country do you plan on establishing in as of right now? Wait, before we get to that, where do you have establishments? So besides Nigeria, as of right now, where else do you have establishments?
It's just Nigeria. So this is my first store.
Okay.
Yeah. So you guys are seeing me, you know, figuring it out for the first time.
So where else
We're live,
do you
live
plan
and
on, you know, getting established in?
Before I came out here, I had ideas of what I thought I wanted to do. And, you know, that would be South Africa. That would obviously eventually be Ghana when they kind of pick up the pace.
Right.
But now that I've been here, and now that I've experienced Nigeria, and I've experienced Africa in many different facets, I'm open. You know, I think that it would be a disservice of me to try to make, you know, concrete plans for something that I don't know.
Okay, so you're basically just finding your way as it comes along. Fair enough.
Yes.
Yeah. What would you say the most challenging part about, you know, setting up your store in Nigeria has been for you?
Honestly, well, I mean, there was a lot of learning curves.
Right.
Let me use that word. There's a lot of learning curves. I think the first thing that really shocked me, I mean, of course, outside of just working with contractors, I think contractors in any country is very difficult.
Yeah.
Working with contractors here, that was pretty difficult for me. It was definitely blood, sweat, and tears, and I don't cry. And then it was negotiating prices. I didn't know that, you know, it's like you have a price, but then they like try to negotiate the price. And I didn't know that that was like a thing.
Oh, that's really a thing.
Yeah, so that was definitely new for me. And I think just honestly like adjusting to
the whole system.
Just the whole system. It's not what I'm used. It's not America at all.
Okay. So how is Lava doing currently, and any regrets coming to Nigeria so far?
No regrets.
Okay.
No regrets at all, honestly. But my goals have expanded very, 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 very large, okay? I mean, the things that I'm dreaming of, the things that I want to do now, I was telling you off camera, like, they are not things that I would have ever thought of being in America, ever. So the magnitude of like where I want to take it is just so much further. And someone like me, I mean, it's like, I'm like a kid in a candy store. Like my dreams and my goals are so beyond right now that it sounds like a fairy tale when I say it out loud. Okay. So no regrets at all. And Lava's doing good. You know, my employees are amazing. Shout out to Vicky, shout out to John. They hold it down. You know, we're doing great. Yeah.
Okay, love to hear that. What has been the most rewarding part in your career so far?
I think just being blessed with the opportunities that I've had. I recognize that it's not normal.
Fair enough.
And, you know, I'm thankful for like every single thing that I've had, you know, no matter how small or how large, everything to me is a win. So yeah, I would say that.
Okay. What legacy do you hope to leave, both as a designer and as an individual?
Ooh, okay, so legacy is extremely important to me.
Yeah.
Extremely important to me. And, you know, first and foremost, I think the world needs more of me. So I definitely want to have kids eventually.
Yeah.
So that's a legacy that I want to leave behind. But I also want to be known for someone that, you know, was fearless, someone that did, you know, go after their dreams, someone that was able to make an impact.
Right.
Not just within the fashion industry, but, you know, with humanity.
Right.
Because it's important for me to care for others. You know, I think that like having empathy and showing care and concern for other people is very important. You know, I say you have to reach back to pull forward.
Oh no, that's nice. Now my last question, and I think everybody wants to know this as well. The last post from Grayscale was in May. Are we working on anything new? So at least you could tell us something.
I am. So I actually already have the samples.
Okay.
They're extremely fire.
Right.
And right now I am in talks with a online account. So something similar to when I did like my Macy's drop or like Urban Outfitters or something like that. So it's a huge online platform and they are asking me to drop my comeback collection with them.
Okay, so when can we expect it?
Ooh, we're working on it, you know, we're working on it. It's coming soon.
Okay.
And I'm excited.
Okay, I'm also excited. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Okay, and that comes to the end of today's episode. I've been, you know, graced to work with the beautiful KHALA.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, see you guys next time. And that's the end of this episode. Bye.
So this is Behind the Stitch with Simon Says Drip. And thank you guys so much for having me.